Three, two, one. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another. I would say another episode of the Wicked podcast, but this time it's not actually a podcast episode. It's a new format that I want to try out, where basically I just talk about random shit that I've gone through, that I've lived, or just stupid random subjects that I've thought about throughout the day that I'm gonna bring out to you guys because I either think it's interesting or it's funny. But yeah, if you guys are interested in seeing more of this type of content, just try to provide some type of feedbacks with the like, shares, maybe subscribe or leave a comment. And with that, I'll just see what I want to do with it. Because it's just still in a making process. I could always change it. But if you guys prefer the whole group setting, it's always better to let me know. And I'll try and post more frequently with the whole group and different guests, just to keep that energy around, that fun, positive energy around. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the intro. Today, I actually want to talk about 2020 as a year. And what I mean by that is not like for everybody, because I don't know what y'all have been through, but I'm pretty sure 2020 has been hard for all of us in some type of way. But I just want to touch on how 2020 has affected me and how I've changed from it. Most importantly, what I've learned from it. Now, to start off, 2020, pretty much, 2020 I was still in Sec 5, finishing my high school year. And then Corona hit, which basically just blew me out the water, skipped my whole last, part of my semester for high school, so I didn't have to do any exams. I was stuck at home alone, no graduation, no prom, which is not a good start to 2020. But honestly, I kind of could have cared less for the whole prom because it just wasn't my thing. There was just too many random factors in it where I do not vibe with some people do not vibe with me, and it's okay, but I just didn't really mess with it. Honestly, the most important thing that I was looking out for prom is probably the memories I would have shared and the things that I would have talked about with my parents or whatever, maybe my close friends, but who knows. That's how I started with my 2020. Then I had to go to college. Oh boy, I think I've learned from college that the fact that you think going to college is a good idea should not mean that you should go to college. You actually have to prepare for that, which obviously it's logical sense, but college is not only about schoolwork, it's also about discovering yourself, which in a weird way it helped, but also it did not, because it was very depressing waking up every day at 8 a.m. to go to an online class and basically just sit at your computer doing nothing, even though most teens already do that on Saturday morning. But it's just not the same when you gotta listen to your teacher ramble on about things you just don't understand at 8 a.m. That was actually a depressing semester. And I think we've had a lot of dropouts this year, at least for my college. A lot of people dropped out because they just couldn't handle the whole system because it was so unorganized. And that's just school. Then comes the schoolwork and your friends or relationships, all of that were just messed up because of the whole quarantine. And then you had to go to school online, so you spent a lot less time outside, which is a good thing because of the coronavirus. But still, I think I've had the most disconnect this year with some people who I genuinely did care about, and some other people who I must admit did not care about, which you know who you are. If you think I did not care about you, if you feel aimed, it is what it is. If you don't, that's good for you. I could care less at this point. But yeah, I think I've disconnected with a lot of people, which is kind of sad. I do think about it sometimes, is there something I could have done? But it's just quarantine and shit. Everybody has their stuff to do, which makes it even worse, because I think with this whole quarantine and being locked inside, it forced a lot of people to look at themselves and not project on it when I say that because I know a lot of people who used to do that, like face to face. They try to take like something they did and put it on you, or like find your faults and not confront theirs, which is very stupid. But if you know what I'm talking about, you know, like you've seen what I'm talking about if you know. But that's not even the worst case. And then I think I also like had a lot to deal with when it came to like keeping friends, because I'm not a very patient person. So with this whole quarantine, it forced me to just look at myself, and when you look at yourself too long, you start pointing out like things that you don't like. You just notice these things. Like it depends on the person, but it could be your hair, like your nose shape, your face, the fact that you don't have a beard, or whatever the fuck. It could even be that you don't have even piercing. Like it's just an accessory, but it depends on the person. And for me, that thing was the fact that I wasn't patient. And when I say I wasn't patient, is like I don't give a lot of like leeway, and I don't give a lot of patience or time or effort to people who aren't my family, even though I do care about them, or I like feel some type of way about them. I'm just not built like that. I can't give you all my time and effort when sometimes you might give back the same energy, and sometimes you just might like fuck off and piss me off or tell me to shut the fuck up. Like I can't do that. And honestly, that type of attitude is bad. I must admit, like it's very bad for my like relationships in general, even with friends, because it gets to a point where if I talk to you and we vibe, that's cool, but if you do me wrong, I'll just cut you off. And yeah, I must admit, I'm very cold and I'm like not emotional, which sometimes is a good thing, but most of the time it does come and bite me in the ass, because a lot of times where I've done mistakes with people, I should have just let it slide, and I've like not forgiven people I should have forgave, and that I think played a role in my relationships this year, where I think I've lost a lot of friends. I think I've lost some of my best friends to just not communicating, and some of them are my fault, I must admit. Like some of them I did not reach out to, or I just left them hanging, where I think I did this once. Now don't judge me if I do this, and it's not because like I'm craving attention, or I think I'm hot shit, or I'm a superstar. It's just a bad habit that I developed. I have this bad habit of when somebody texts me on Snapchat, and like for example, we're talking on Snap for like a day or 2 to 3, maybe a week straight, I'll start to just slowly back out of the conversation. And when I mean back out, I don't mean like text you less or start dry texting. I mean, you'll snap me a response and I won't open it for a day or hours. Most of the time it's a day. I must admit I'm bad like that. But yeah, I'll just leave you undelivered for a day. And then when I try and get back in, obviously you're gonna be mad. You're justified to be mad. You're right to be mad. Of course. Best thing to do, honestly, is call me out. Because the people who have called me out, I did apologize and I've tried my best. On that subject, on that point, I'm doing this right now with this one person who's dear friend. I've talked to her since secondary 5. Very close to me. Very good friend. I've been there for her. She's been there for me. Very nice. But I left her undelivered for a week. Okay. Listen, now before you freak out and think I'm a piece of shit, I've left her undelivered for a week. I've been busy. I've been working. And I mean working, like for real working. Like 8 a.m. is school till like 4. And then from 4 to like 8, I'm at work. Like it's school, work, sleep, and then just repeat the process for a whole week. So like I understand a text takes 2 seconds, but I do think it can be excused, right? Okay, I must admit it's not excusable. It's a dick move, but shit, what's done is done. I can't take it back. So I left her undelivered for a week, and obviously she did call me out, which is, in my opinion, best thing to do. I apologized and we move on. Now we're best friends again, you know? See, everything's cool. But now she's doing the same thing to me, just like I did to her. And I must admit, the only reason why I noticed it was a dick move is because she's doing it. I can understand. Just like the good old phrase, like good old sayings goes, I got a taste of my own medicine. Right? I did get a taste of my own medicine, and I must admit, my medicine is pure dog shit. It's fucking ass, and it's annoying because you see that shit every time you open your Snapchat. So she was right to call me out, and I understand that she's mad, but it is what it is, and I can't get mad at her for doing it because I did it, and I was even worse. So why would I get mad at her for doing it? You know. That's one of the things, but I don't think like I'll lose her as a friend. Like I think she's just doing that to get back at me, but she's cool. On the other hand, I have this other friend who very dear to me, very close to me. We just stopped talking because of quarantine and the amount of work that comes with it, and not with the quarantine itself, but just how you have to restructure your life to adjust with this quarantine. And now I can't imagine if you're an adult and actually working and paying your bills and your job has to close down because of quarantine. I just can't imagine how like hard it must be to readjust your life to it. Cause me as a young adult who's 18 now, congrats, woohoo, whoop-de-doo. But anyways, as an adult who's 18 and working, I don't even have my own apartment. I'm still living with my parents, and I find it hard myself. Cause I gotta wake up early now to go to school, or I gotta like work extra hours, or I work double pay, and all this shit. And I'm just like, okay, or like I have to follow new protocols, having your mask on, having gloves, doing this and that. Holy shit, man, this takes time. I think I've like spent more time working and doing homework than I have actually playing video games and talking to my friends, or just laying in bed sleeping. The amount of countless numbers of sleepless nights that I've had is baffling. In this year alone, like it's actually fucking surprising. So I think the fact that I lost contact with this very close friend of mine because of this is normal. And I must admit, I'm not sad about it because I did see it coming. But it's normal, and it's something that you have to deal with. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have to deal with that too. Like, you've probably lost friends because you just didn't talk to them ever again during this quarantine. Or maybe you're one of those rare people who are actually found a friend or made a lover during this quarantine, which if you did find a girlfriend, boyfriend, best friend, whatever, during this quarantine through social media, fucking props to you. Congrats. Wow. Just good job. I'm impressed because honestly, I can't do that shit. All this social media texting ass bullshit, fucking games and shit. I can't do that. That goes back to me having no patience because like, fuck. Try to play games with me, I'll call you out and fucking leave your ass on red. I hate that. I hate those games. That's why I just can't make friends on social media while they're in quarantine. I just hate it. It's not my type of thing. And having to deal with all that pushed me to realize things about myself where I want to be a content creator, or at least I want to try creating something in video format, even if it's just a podcast or a random talks episode or this new format that I'm trying now. It pushed me to realize that I really want to try new things and push myself to my limit. Even in the gym or exercising, it just shows like it pushed me to discover that drive that I had in myself, which honestly was awesome because fuck, it took a lot of free time off my hands and gave me something to be passionate about. The only thing is, passion comes with a price, success comes with a price, and it is time, money, and relationships. Yeah, I had to invest money in this, quite a few bucks to get this equipment and all this, even if it's not much, and you guys don't see the work behind the scenes. There is a lot of work that goes into this, and just a lot of prep and scheduling and researching for guests or subjects or whatever, which is why I want to try this new random podcast episode thing That way I can pretty much make more episodes on the fly whenever I feel like it, without depending on anybody else. But that comes with a lot of preparation and money, because I had to invest like in a new microphone, monitors, speakers, keyboard, blah blah blah, all this random fucking stuff that I never thought I'd buy before. Time. A lot of fucking time is spent editing. Even if the episode is 20 minutes long, there's maybe an hour, maybe 30 minutes behind this editing screen. That's if I like actually had everything prepared, which is like finding the music, seeing if the music fits, seeing if the sound quality of the episode is actually good. All that goes into like the editing process, and if it's not good, I just trash it, and I gotta make a new episode either on the fly, or I'll have to make you guys wait, which I'm very terribly sorry about. So sorry. And then comes relationships. Ooh, man, relationships. I think that's the one that has probably gained the most strain since I started this podcast, because people think since I got a podcast, I must be blowing up, which is fucking false, by the way. Like, it's false. It feels good. Like, I like doing what I do right now, even if I don't get views, and it feels even better when I do get views, because it's like people are enjoying what I do, which is awesome because it's building a community. But the thing is like, when you go see people who either know you or know about you but not you as an individual, or just random people, whatever, and you tell them, yo, I really like I really fuck with your vibe, I really like how we're vibing, how we're talking, like the conversation flows good, and you're pretty interesting, you got some good stories, would you be okay with being featured on my podcast? You don't have to show your face, we can literally just talk, it's just a recorded talking session where you and me talk. A lot of them think that, oh, this guy just invited me to a podcast, he has to have like 1,000 viewers, this is clout, this is gas. No, that's not the reason why I invited you. I didn't invite you because I think I'd gain clout, or else I'd fucking text some influencer or whatever. I invited you because I like you as a person and the conversation that we're having. Don't go twist up your words. And I must admit, a lot of people that I did ask to be featured on my podcast have ghosted me for this exact reason. Now, they won't say it to my face that it's this exact reason, but honestly, when you ask somebody, do you want to be a feature on my podcast, and they say yes, and then they ask, can I see your podcast? You show them the podcast and they leave you undelivered or read for 3 weeks. I think it's because of this reason, honestly, just because it doesn't have enough clout for them to give me time. Or the other few, like the rare exceptions to that, who are just very just lazy and said yes because they didn't have a choice, where I'll ask them, they say yes, and then I ask, okay, when's your schedule, like what's your schedule, so I can adjust myself to that, and that way you don't have to be in a predicament and choose between the podcast episode and something else. And they never give you they never give them their schedule, like, what do you want me to do? I'm waiting on your schedule, and they just don't respond. And if I do ever come back on the subject and be like, yo, you never gave me your schedule, do you still want to be on? It's just gonna be awkward. But like, not only would it be awkward, it's just, if it comes to that point, I know that we just don't vibe, so it's useless for me to even invite you back. But that's just one of the many things that I've learned in 2020, not 2021, 2020. One other thing that did strike me is just how rough this year has been for many of us, and how we've grown so much as people. Maybe you've had a glow up, who knows, but like, I think 2020 really did show us who and what we can do. Maybe not for you, but like for me, it certainly did. Like, it showed me what I can do and what I would want to do if I do force myself. And I think that's probably one of the best things that came out of 2020. And if I had to say one thing that I'll take with me in 2021 is this idea that you should not put too much trust in your friends. because they are the quickest to, betray you. Now, you may ask yourself, well, what the fuck? That came out of nowhere. But I've read this in a book called The 48 Laws of Power, which I'll talk about in a separate video soon enough. But it really I've read that book and it puts in perspective, because I've read that book many times, but I've started to just think about the laws again, and I started to try and see if it applies to my life, and effectively it does. So the rule goes as follows: never put too much trust in friends, and learn how to use your enemies. Be wary of friends, they will betray you more quickly, for they are easily to be aroused by envy. They also become spoiled and tyrannical. But hire a former enemy, and he might be more loyal than a close friend, because he has more to prove. In fact, you have more to fear from your friends than from an enemy. If you have no enemies, make a way to find them. My bad. Did I say make a way to find them? I meant find a way to make them. Jeez, I'm not dyslexic. But anyways, so if you didn't catch what it means, it basically means that your friends are probably your biggest enemies, because they can see your whole potential. They know you because you keep confiding in them, and they can see how good you can be and how bad you can get. And that thing really just put the world in, not the world, but put my friendships in perspective. And it really made me go, what did I gain from being friends with this person, and what did that person gain? And a lot of the times I was being friends because I liked them. But when I think about it, when we were friends, I did a lot more shit for them that they did for me. I've helped them with a lot more problems than they did for me. I must admit, I am also very reserved. If I do have a problem, you'll probably never hear it unless we mad close. But I think about my real closest friends, my closest of my closest, my bro, my real bro, my real G. And he probably gained more from being friends with me than I did from being friends with him. And whether it be envy, jealousy, or even sometimes spite, it is what it is. If he did do me wrong, I wouldn't blame him, because I didn't follow the law, which he didn't do until now. I mean, there was this one time, but that's another story. But it really just shows how you don't have to wait for friends, or you don't have to wait for certain people that you admire or put your trust in to do what you want to do. You can do it yourself, just like you did when you were younger. I did it, and that's probably something that I'll know. But anyways, don't put your trust in other people when it's about something important, especially for your future endeavor. For me, I should not trust anybody to carry out my channel, because I should do it myself. Just if you want to be an artist, don't trust anybody else to do it for you. You should do it yourself. Don't even trust your friends to help you write lyrics, because they probably fucking won't. At one point, they might even think you're annoying. Just you shouldn't trust your friends with all your relationship problems, because first of all, it's your relationship. Stop fucking talking about it. Second of all, it's not their relationship. Come on, stop fucking talking about it. And third of all, why would they care? Is it their relationship? Actually, think about it. What do they gain from helping you do that? That's one of the things that I've learned, and that's one of the things that I've seen with the people close to me or around me. A lot of them are here for gain. And with that in my mind, those people are not going to be with me in 2021, 2022, and whatever other year I go with this YouTube channel. Those people are going to be gone, and it's going to be for the best. And since now you know it too, and now you know the law, think about it. That's actually food for your brain. Your closest friend might be your biggest enemy. Let that sink in. Now, with that being said, I wish you a happy 2021, happy New Year's. I want all of you to gain prosperity, have a long life, have a happy life, just like I would wish for myself. Stay strong, stay healthy, and have a happy New Year.